Alright, guys, I honestly hope my camera does not bug out during the session so we can actually go through this. This is the strategy that is really going to take me where I need to go, and you're going to see how the channel progresses. Only if, and like you've used the strategy, only if we follow it step by step and don't take any trade outside of the setups we get. Which, I'm not going to lie to you, I have been. Even today, yesterday, bro, I have been. So, I mean, really, it's just me. I'm really doing this for myself as well, to be honest. But, because sometimes you're not going to get a trade some days, unless you go scavenging on other markets, where I'm not above it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I have done so. Maybe today. Did I trade? No, but, do you know what I'm saying? But, this is the strategy, and we're going to get straight into it. First of all, we're going to start on the 1 hour chart. Actually, no, we're going to start on the 4 hour. We're going to go to the 4 hour, and furthermore, let's just use another chart. Let's use another brokerage chart so it's all clear. And let's just use a Wanda. I used to be on a Wanda boy before. And the first thing is finding your bias. Which direction are you trading? What's your daily bias? Where are you looking? Because I'm a day trader, you can go to the daily chart and look as well, but you don't really need to go higher than the 4 hour. And all you're going to look for is the general direction in which the market's going at the point in time. So as of right now, we are obviously, right now we're coming down a little, but generally we're going up. Not going to overcomplicate it any more than that. We're not overcomplicating it any more than that. We are generally making higher highs and higher lows. That's the first step. Step 2, drop to the 1 hour chart. Simple as that. This is step 2, drop to 1 hour chart. And now I'm going to draw a diagram before we actually look on the charts so we can understand what we are looking for. This is the pattern we're looking for. And this is the pattern we're looking for if we are bullish, because obviously we just saw the charts, we're bullish. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come into the chart step by step. If I see that we're bullish, how am I going to look for my trade and for a trade setup? First of all, we're going to drop, obviously, as first step 1, drop to the 1 hour chart. So let me even just write out these steps for you as well. Step 1, obviously, get daily bias, 4 hour / daily chart. That's what we're gonna get. Now, step 2, we are going to drop to the 1 chart so step 1, get daily bias of the 4 hour, the daily chart. Step 2, drop to the 1 hour chart, ... because I'm going to take out that ... and then place it in with what we're actually going to be looking for when we get to 1 hour chart, which is our institutional candle, the first one that we're looking for, the first of 2 institutional candles that we're looking for. And how do you find the institutional candle? Well, it's as simple as this. This is how it looks generally. It's not going to look like this in the charts because it's all different in the charts. But we're going to have a candle, and we have candles that come and they create a low. So this is the low that I've just dotted right here. And now when they've created this low, they're going to do whatever. They're going to go out, who cares what they do? Do you know what I'm saying? But market's going to happen. Price is going to do what price does. Now, at some point, we're going to come down and we're going to take this low. We're going to liquidize it, as I like to say, liquidate this low. Doesn't matter how far we liquidate. We can liquidate it here. We can liquidate it and come down here. But after we liquidate, what matters is we come up and break the high. I don't like those 2 dots I just do there anyway. But anyways, after we liquidate, we come up and break the high that created the low that took out the previous low. So let's just leave it there for now. So we've had a low created in the market. Once this low is created, right here, we come and take that low. It doesn't matter by how much. As I repeat, it doesn't matter by how much. It could be the smallest of wicks. But we've came and we've liquidated that low because what's resting beneath those lows? Sell stops, as ICT says, or just stop losses. Simple as that. And that's where the big institutions want to go to and get before they make a move in the market. So I'm just gonna label this just for the sake of, because I can, with little dollar signs, because that's money. That's money being taken out of the market right here. Now, once this is taken, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the last high before this low was taken. The last high that before this low was taken here in the market, there might be a little high made here, or you know what I'm saying, one just before we break. It doesn't matter, but the last high before that low was taken. for us right here, it was this high right here. So we need a break and close above this high. We don't just need a break like how we took here, it doesn't matter if it's a little wick. Right here, in order for our institutional candle to be valid, we need a break and close. Let me even just type that out for those at the back that decided just not to listen, they just want to trade whatever, bro. Let me get another text box. Break and close. Let me even just, yeah, just for those at the back. Let's put it there. We need a break and close above this high. Now, once we've had a break and close above this high, the whole range from this high to the last low before we came up and broke this high, that's the institutional candle. This is the institutional candle, and it's as simple as that. Now, we have completed the first step of finding our trade setup in a bullish market. Simple as that. Now, oh, these look disgusting. Let me just make it more of a market look. It looks like I'm doing polygons and them things there. Alright, cool. That's more like it. Let's move this. Ooh, no, not you. You. There we go. That looks better. That actually looks like I'm, yeah, one of them pretty. Anyways, now, cool. Once we've done this, oopsie daisy, we are going to, at some point, who knows when and who knows where, market's going to carry on as we do. So we've taken this high and we've broken a close above it. At some point, the market is going to return back to, oh bro, wrong thing. So cool, once you've broken and closed this high, at some point the market is going to return. And one thing that you want to notice when we make these institutional candles, how convincingly did we break and close above this high? Was it a little break? You know what I'm saying? When we broke, did we come straight back into it? Those are things that you're going to have to see and back test yourself and see with experience, because the way we displace this high is going to show how valid and how much more likely our institutional candle is to hold. So realistically, we could get a break above, and we could get it comes back straight in after. We could get something. Oh, let me stop using this flipping arrow, bro. We could get something like this, and we come straight back in as soon as we break and close above it, and we come straight back into the thing, rare tear, and then we bounce out. Or we could get a little bit more of a push up, and you think, oh no, the market's going away, I'm not going to get a trade. The market will most times come back. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter if it takes news for it to come back. For the most part, the market's going to come back to our zone. And when it does come back to our zone, we're not going to enter off the top, and we're not going to enter as soon as it touches the zone. We're going to wait for it to come to the midpoint. That is our, that's our ticket. That's where we really start looking in on, just life, etc. Yeah, cool. So we've come back and we've touched this midpoint. And unless we have a very nice stop loss on the 1 hour chart and it's like less than 10 pips, which is very, very rare, when we touch midpoint, we're going to drop time frames again. And we're going to drop to the 5-minute chart. Okay, so before we do that, let's just carry on with our with what we're writing. So we drop to the daily chart and wait for / or find institutional. Can I even spell? Institutional candle. Yep, there we go. And quickly, while I'm here, let me just say this. No, I'm not wrong. How do I know whether an institutional candle has been invalidated, has been mitigated fully, and I don't want to trade from it again? Realistically, it hasn't been mitigated fully until we come and we break below it. That's when it's been mitigated. But I like to leave the institutional candles alone once we've already touched midpoint and we've had a break away from it. Do you understand? So that's just me generally. That's what I've seen in backtesting. You can go backtest that for yourself by do it in your own time. But you need to be backtesting as well. So cool. That's the second step. And I've explained to you how to find the institutional candle, and I will put the steps in the description and the steps to find, not just the steps for the whole strategy, but the steps in between the lines, because these steps 1, 2, 3, etc. Now obviously we're going to drop to the 5-minute chart. These steps don't include how to actually get an institutional candle, how to find it. Now the juice, the melanin, we're getting closer to it. Now once we've done that, we're going to drop to, and we've got the daily bias, drop to 1 hour chart, wait for or found our institutional candle, and we wait for it to come to midpoint. Yeah, that should be a step in on itself. Let's make that step 3. Wait for market to touch the midpoint. There we go. That's like probably one of the most crucial steps. All the steps that have wait for is the most crucial steps. Now we drop to the 5-minute chart. What we're going to do when we get there, we're going to do the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing. We're going to wait for another institutional candle, but just on a lower time frame, to confirm our higher time frame institutional candle, and confirm that we can trade from it and move away from it, get a nice little A+ setup. So what we're going to do in this whole, oh no, Matt's about to die, not on my watch. In this whole jigger jagger here, we just draw an hour away from it. I like say we're zooming in. What we're going to have is the same thing on a 5-minute chart, and it doesn't take long to explain because I just explained it already. Institutional candle is the same thing. It's going to be, we have a low made, we've done whatever, we've moved away, made a high, we've taken that low, and we've displaced that high, and we've come back in to around the midpoint, and then we move away. Simple as that. So now, cool. Let's do the same thing again. So this is the low that we came when we took it. We liquidized this low right here. Then we came, we body broke above this high, and we had a decent amount of displacement, hopefully. Now, from this high to the lowest point before we broke above it is our institutional candle. It's our institutional candle. And once we've done that, wait for it to come back into midpoint. So we're going to drop this down to midpoint, pretend it's a midpoint, came down to midpoint. And this is where we place our long position with our stops below the low of the institutional candle, and target a minimum of a 1 to 3. Target a minimum of a 1 to 3. And if you have a specific high or something you're aiming for, you can target that. But we want a minimum of a 1 to 3 from our entry. And that's it. That is as simple or as complicated as it's going to get. Now, let's dive into the charts and I'll show you examples. Just quickly while I'm here we are today. We are still on Euro. We're currently in the uptrend. In the general direction of us is we're going up right now on the 4-hour chart. That's the general direction. That's all I need to see. My bias is bias. So then I drop down to the 1-hour chart. And as you can see, right here, as I said, it doesn't matter by how much, but we have had an institutional candle created. We had this low here. So I'm going to zoom in just to show you that the low's been taken. I don't care about how much it's been taken. This low has been liquidated. It's taken whoever stop loss was below this low. Now, we've done that. We came and we broke above this high, we displaced this high. So now what? From the high to the lowest point becomes our institutional candle. We wait for it to come back to this midpoint. And yes, there's been institutional candles created since then, many a time, and they're all validated the same way. So when you say, oh, but it came through this institutional candle, was there a 5-minute setup created when it came to that institutional candle? We'll see. And if it goes straight through it, maybe there wasn't a 5-minute setup created, and there you go, you didn't take a trade, and you're out of a loss. You didn't take a loss. You didn't take a win either, but you avoided that loss because the 5-minute setup was taken. You don't just enter straight off the 1-hour institutional. Now, but that's just one that I'm waiting for and I'm looking for at the moment. If I do catch a trade of it, you lot will know, I promise you. But now we're going to go back in time to this week, the 4th of June. Today is the 18th. So maybe a week or two ago is the first week of June. And I'm going to show trades following the strategy. There was 2 setups that happened here, and I'm going to look on other markets and see any others. This strategy doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, these are good A+ setups. So, as I said, as we saw from before, we're in an uptrend. So, what was I doing? I came into the market on this Tuesday and we're looking for institutional candles. Where have we got any institutional candles? Well, obviously I'm seeing this one here. There's so many. They're all over the gap. You know what I'm saying? But they're all validated in the same way. So that's how we know which ones to trade on. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had this low that got taken, rare tear, and then obviously this high that got taken after that. Took a while for it to close above. So here. So then this would be our whole institutional candle. And I don't think we came back down to the midpoint of that. Till now, I don't know if we have. So yeah. But as we carry on going, look, we have a setup here. And yes, I already have these drawn out just so it's quicker. If you know what I'm saying, there's nothing for me to cheat or show here. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that I gain from not showing you how I drew these out. It's the same thing. You can go find them yourselves. We had this low, and this candle took this low, and this was the high before the low got taken. Simple as that. Now, from this high to the lowest point before we break above the high and break and close it, this is our institutional candle, and we came back to the midpoint. So what I do, drop to the 5-minute chart. So this is a 2nd of June, Monday 2nd of June, and I'll drop to the 5-minute chart. And I'll look for the same institutional candle, again, but just on a lower time frame, moving off of the 1 minute, the 1 hour setup. So this is our 1 hour setup. As we can see, we came in and we've touched midpoints. This is, at this point here, we've dropped to the 5-minute chart. Now, what are we seeing? We're seeing that we've taken this low. Right here. We've taken this low right here on the 5-minute chart. Now, what are we looking for after that? The high before that low was created. The high before that low was created was this one up here. This was the last high before that low was created. Cool. And when I say created, I mean taken as well. So now we've got that. We eventually break and close above this high up here, making this lowest point to the highest, to the high before we broke it, our institutional candle in the 5-minute. Did we come back to it at any point? We came back to it the next day and we wicked it. And this probably, yeah, this would have been a stop loss trade. Let's see how big our stop loss was as well. About 9.7 pips. So cool. Yeah, that would have been we had a bit of a boogie woogie around, but we didn't get our nice 1 to 3 and we didn't move off like we would hope to. So yeah, that's a loss right there. Which happens, no strategy is 100%, so there we go. That's if you decided to, you know, hold this same institutional candle through to the next day, which you can, there's no problem with it. So now, next trade that I have drawn out. Same thing, we're gonna go back to the 1 hour. We're still in an uptrend, although we came down and we broke through this rare tear. People's bias may have changed. We stayed steady with our bias until we can see clearly on the 4 hour or daily time frame that we are now in a downtrend. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to overcomplicate it at all. So what do we have here? We see another institutional candle on the 1 hour be created. So we have these lows here that got taken, even this low as well. Doesn't matter, just pick a low that's got taken, and this was the high before the low got taken. From this lowest point to the high is our zone, then we wait for it to come back to the midpoint. Let's see, we came back to the midpoint right here. Drop to the 5-minute. No. We drop to the 5-minute. Cool. So yeah, we wait for institutional candle again on the 5-minute. Then we have it. We have this low that gets taken right here. It doesn't matter what low gets taken, and it doesn't matter by how much. All you have to do is make sure you identify a low that gets taken. We also have another low that gets taken right here. Both of these are valid lows because a low is a low. That's how I view it. And then the high before those lows got taken was this one right here, making this our institutional candle from this lowest point to the high that we come before we break the lows. Now, after we've done that, we set our entry and we wait for the. You can either set a limit entry or you can wait and enter price manually. Yep, cool. You enter price manually at this point, at the midpoint of the. Oh, what are these men doing out there? At the midpoint of the 5-minute institutional, and you aim for your minimum 1 to 3. So our 1 to 3 would have been around here, which we smashed through. I think there was news this day. Or you could aim for this high, which a lot of people, I know a lot of people do, on a nice 1 to 5. Yep, simple as that. Now, we have another trade this week. So let's just say we've just lost 1% on this first trade here. And then now we've made back 3%. We're not going to take the 5, we'll take the 3. So we're up 2% for the week. Now we get another setup again. We get another setup. Now, where is the setup, lads? Where is the setup? You are asking me. Here we have taken these lows. Where's the high before we took these lows? This one right here. Do we break and close this high? We do indeed break and close this high. Where's our institutional? Our institutional is from this lowest point to the high before we break the low. There we go. Now we wait for it to come back and touch the midpoint. And then so we come back and we have just wicked the midpoint of this 1 hour institutional. And while we wicked it, what do? We take out these lows right here. Take these lows out. Now, the high before we broke these lows was this high here, and then we have from this low to the high before we break the lows is this institutional candle, and we have our midpoint right here. We enter right at the midpoint, and you aim for your minimum 1 to 3. We'll just move that here. Boom shakalaka, we smashed through it. There we go. So that'll put us up 5 and 3, 2 and 3, 5% for the week. Just taking our strat setups. And as you can see, we only got a trade on Wednesday. We got a trade on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't think we got one on the Friday. As you can see, I don't think we didn't end up getting one on the Friday. Now, and even last week, before my payout, I didn't get any, didn't really get any strat setups, actually, from what I can see. And this week's been a bit bare as well, been moving a bit slightly sideways. So, that is a strat, for the most part. That's what we're going to follow. If anyone wants to follow it with me, let me know, shout me in the comments. We can get a little Discord or something running. We can hold each other accountable and disciplined, so make sure we're only taking strat trades, etc. But, yeah, that's it.